March 2021, a container ship ran aground in the Suez Canal, and the loss of trade caused by cargo ships blocking the canal was estimated at $400 million per hour. In the past, to move goods between Asia and the Mediterranean basin, traders had to cross the narrow isthmus that separates the Red Sea from the Nile and ride camels across unforgiving deserts. But if a canal could be cut through the isthmus, transportation costs could be greatly reduced. Throughout the 16th century, several powers attempted to build such a canal, but their plans were thwarted by cost, political conflict, and wind and sand. In 1798, interest in building a canal rose again, this time attracting the attention of all of Europe, and over the next few decades, men from Austria, Italy, England, and France presented their plans to Egypt's rulers. Egypt, then an Ottoman territory, resisted these proposals, but Egypt's political and economic autonomy was growing, and the Egyptian government was eager to implement the project. When Said Pasha came to power in 1854, he approved the plan proposed by the French diplomat Ferdinand Marie Vicomte de Lesseps and signed two concessions in 1854 and 1856, respectively, which gave him the right to set up the Suez Canal Company and to finance it by selling shares to capitalists in various countries. Beginning in 1862, some 20,000 laborers were forcibly drafted each month to dig the canal in harsh desert conditions, where food and water were hard to come by. Diseases such as cholera were rampant. Workers labored under the threat of whips, and some thousands were killed during the construction process. In 1864, Ismail Pasha, the new ruler of Egypt, ended forced labor for Egyptians, but he continued to push forward with the construction of the canal, bringing in workers from all over Europe and the Middle East to remove 74 million cubic meters of dirt. Using dredges and bucket excavators, the large number of workers needed infrastructure to transport drinking water and other supplies, which spawned an economy of restaurants, labor parks, and smuggled goods. Amidst the bustling crowds, 3 new multi-ethnic cities were born. Port Said on the northern shore of the Mediterranean Sea, Ismailia in the middle of the canal, and Bandicoot at the southern end of the canal. After years of hard work, the construction site bypassed the Nile and went straight from Port Said to the Suez Canal. In the mid-1860s, the two currents finally began to merge, and on November 17, 1869, the 164-kilometer-long, 56-meter wide canal was completed and officially opened to traffic. Despite initial financial difficulties, the canal eventually accelerated global trade, facilitated the migration of numerous marine species, and dramatically altered local ecosystems, and traffic on the canal grew for decades. In 1875, however, a financial crisis forced Egypt to sell off a large amount of the canal company's stock, which allowed the British to take over control of the canal. And it was not until 1956 that President Gamal Abdel Nasser nationalized the canal, a move that triggered an Egyptian military standoff with the British, the French, and the Israelis. Today, nearly 30% of the world's ships trade through the Suez Canal. In 2021, more than 20,000 ships will use the Suez Canal. The canal has become a major source of revenue for Egypt,